Okay, we're back with Tony Suggs, Luther Skywalker Bailey with WBGR Sports Network. We're here at UFC Gym in Alexandria, Virginia. So you're ranked 4th in the world. You're on the verge of going to the 1988 Olympics, which is, you know, one of your dreams.
Is my dream.
Is your dream. And your daughter passes away.
While I'm at the Olympic Training Center training for the Pan American Games.
So you come back home.
Right.
And like we said, you know, kind
It
of
was
like
all downhill.
all downhill with you in the streets. You know.
And see, my story is so much more complex than what it seemed. You know, see, as a child, I was brought up in a real dysfunctional family. Family was really dysfunctional, and I felt like the things that was going on in my household wasn't going on in nobody else's household, so I couldn't talk about it. And sports was all I had. So I took out my anger on the field, whether it be football, basketball, baseball. But when I found boxing, that was my love. I really could release all that suppressed anger I had inside. I could take it out on my opponent. And boxing was therapy for me. And so I pound my way to the #1 spot in the country, #4 in the world. And then I went through so much as a child. And when I had my son, then my daughter, I wanted to do so much for them and make their life so much better than my life was. And I've always been a God-fearing man. Even as a young kid, I had a special relationship with God. I felt as though I had a special relationship with God. And I didn't understand back then what I know now, but I felt like God had done me wrong when he took my daughter, when he allowed my daughter to come home with him. And I became mad with God, you know, and because I was this great knockout artist, I figured I could pay God back. You know, I stopped, you know,
so you tried to box with him, huh?
I went on a self-destruction mission. You know, a lot of people, because of my status and who I was, it attracted a lot of people that wasn't really for me. You know, a lot of drug dealers, a lot of people that use drugs, and then it was those ones that trying to keep me straight on the straight and narrow so that I would go to the Olympics and accomplish my dreams. But the sad part about it, I was more attracted to the glimmer and the glamour of the fancy cars, pretty girls, and the money that the drug dealers had to offer. And when my daughter died, I just wanted to get high to suppress my feelings and not feel or deal with what I was going through, and at the same time saying that's how I'm paying God back by messing up my life. You know, and then throughout that whole process, I had, you know, friends that OD'd, friends that, you know, just can't get right in the head, that done lost their mind, you know, from using drugs, burnt out, friends that then went to jail for 20, 30 life, and friends that was assassinated, you know, that was killed through direct results of drug usage or dealing, you know. And so I got caught up in that vicious cycle until 1992.
Yeah, you ended up going to jail.
I went to jail, in and out of jail. Alexandria Detention Center became like a revolving door for me. I remember getting out in December of 1987. The judge, they were showing me so much favor that the judge had released me so I can try out for the 1988 Olympics, so I wouldn't miss the trials. I got out like a week before Christmas, and by January the 12th, I was locked back up. You know, and that's how I always remember that date, because that's when I got myself together. January the 12th is my clean date. And you know, my life just became reckless, out of control, and it was like I couldn't stop it. And it's sad to say, but jail saved my life. You know, going in and out of jail But every time I went to jail, I hung out with the older guys, somebody that could teach me something, somebody that could show me something, somebody that I can learn something from. Not to get old like you and keep coming back and forth to jail, or what positive advice you got to tell me, because the young guys in there was beating on tables, lying about how much they had on the street or what they was doing on the street, wailing. So, you know, I didn't want to hear that. I wanted to keep it real. So I did my time. I learned to do my time and not let my time do me. So I got involved in parenting classes, you know, took Bible studies, stayed involved in the church, learning the word. And then one of the biggest things that really helped me learn about me and what made me use drugs was when I got involved with Sober Living Unit in jail. It's an in-house jail treatment program. I graduated from it 3 times. But that program really helped me to get in touch with me, you know, to help me learn about me and why I use drugs and how to stop and stay stopped. So like I said, I did my time. I didn't let my time do me. You know, I wanted to come out and be a better father to my kids than my parents was to me, you know, and to set an example for my kids, example for them to follow, you know, of what a man, a real man, is supposed to do. How he's supposed to carry it. What is he supposed to be like, you know? So,
So, you know, since coming back to, you know, society, you know, learning your lessons and moving forward with your life, what are some of the positive things that you have, you know, going on? Because, you know, I know you're heavily involved in the community and have different, you know, activities going on. So you want to talk about some of the things you have going on for you right now in your life?
Yeah, my late great friend Lenny Harris, rest in peace. When I first got out of jail and got my life, decided that I was going to walk the straight and narrow and walk this way, I jumped in Lenny's back pocket because he was somebody that I wanted to follow. Because they said when I picked a sponsor, pick somebody that had something in common with and some sort of common interest. And Lenny was doing a lot of things in the community, you know, and I wanted to do that because I remember when I came home from the Olympic Festival, about 20 little kids ran up to me and wanted my autograph. And I felt so bad, so ashamed to give them my autograph because I knew what I was doing, you know. I knew I wasn't a real role model. I know I wasn't a true role model. I was, because of how I was living a double life. You know, I was still using drugs and, you know, I was a crackhead, you know. #1 in the country, crackhead, you know. It's wild, but, you know, yeah. And I felt so ashamed to give them my autograph, and I never wanted to be looked at as being a fake person. I always wanted to be real, keep it 100. So I jumped in Lenny's pocket my last time getting out of jail and started finding out, you know, the things he do in the community, you know, just, you know, did what he wanted me to do, helped him, assisted him, you know, and then as I grew and matured in the things that he was doing, I started coming up with my own ideas, and then I sort of like kind of like branched off, you know, and started doing the things that I love to do in the community, which is I started a men encourage program, recognizing men from the community that do things from their heart without a lot of publicity or notoriety for it, whether it be coaching, tutoring, mentoring, community activists, you know, and they just do it from their heart for the love of the kids. Because I know how hard it can be dealing with somebody else's kids that's not yours, and to keep on doing it year after year. And then I started a Boys to Men program, teaching young boys at the rec center, you know, about having manners, respecting people, tying ties, table manners, how to set tables, all kinds of little, you know, yes, no, sit up straight, shake hands firm, you know, look a man in his eye when you're talking to him, teaching them all kinds of little, you know, just communication skills like that. And then, but I think my biggest program that I have the most love for is this program I started called Shattered Dreams. And Shattered Dreams was based upon, well, I'll say my life story. You know, how your dreams could get shattered, whether you using drugs or selling drugs, because I was on both sides of the fence. I was a drug addict before I became a drug dealer, and then drug dealing is just another form of addiction. You know, so that's when I really had to put in the work to stop, to get disconnected to that lifestyle. So I used drugs for a long time, and then I sold drugs for a long time, and what I noticed through both of those courses in life, that I was messing my life up. You know, I was getting more time, you know, selling drugs than I was using. And I thought because I wasn't using drugs anymore, I was gonna stop going to jail. And that's just the insanity of it. But Shattered Dreams is a drug awareness, a drug prevention, drug awareness program to teach young kids how to stick to their dreams, stay focused on their dream, and don't let nobody tell them, try to encourage them, influence them that their dream is stupid, and to use their dream to keep them on the right path, to keep them on the straight and narrow, and to go for their dreams. And you got a lot of people out here hating because they don't have the discipline or the courage to go for what they believe in, because they so afraid of how other people gonna look at them behind their dream. You know, oh man, that's a stupid dream, but that's your dream. If it's playing a violin, being the best violin on an orchestra, playing the violin, if it's sewing, whatever, you know, go for it. Because I realized how much trouble boxing kept me out of. You know, even though I got in a lot of trouble, but I just look back over my life and think, if I wasn't boxing, or how many times I was in the boxing gym, that some friends of mine got in trouble that I could have been with or would have been with had I not been at the boxing gym. So, you know, and that come from following my dream, you know, having a dream and following it and going for it.
So you have an event coming up this summer, Alexandria Unity Day. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. Yeah. What I noticed, I'm a very observant type person. What I noticed that Alexandria is a city, one small city, but it got a lot of different pockets. Mm-hmm. You got the south side, the west side, the Bird Town, New Projects, Delray, you know, west side, you know, and all these different sections was having reunions. You know, like I was a part of the Delray reunion, for which I was also a part of the Cameron Valley reunion and the Bird reunion as well. But all these different sections was having reunions, and I got with a lot of the different reunion members of different committees and said, won't we just come together and have a big reunion for all of Alexandria? Because Alexandria, T.C. Williams is the only high school in Alexandria. So I'm like, we really not that big, so we need to come together and unite as one. And then not only will we be uniting as one, we will be sending a positive message out to the younger generation, letting them know we can come together as one. You know, Alexandria Unity Day, the whole Alexandria coming together, because, you know, Delray be having a beef with Town be having a beef with Westside, whatever, you know. And really we too small for all that, and it's about coming together, enjoying each other, and having fun.
Yeah, I hear that.
So, you know, that's what Alexandria Unity Day is about. We having a car wash.
When is it?
June 14th at the Advanced Auto Parts up on Duke Street. Then we having a all-white party fundraiser at the Alexandria Elks on June 29th.
Okay.
And, you know, come out and support.
All right.
You know, because everything going to a good cause. We got Mama Risa that's really backing us, supporting us. You know, they cooking all the food for us at the Unity Day. So.
And you was featured in the Washington Post as a cover story.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
Oh, it was a real naked experience experience for me. I guess that was always, like I said, coming up as a kid, I felt as though I couldn't talk about what I was going through because nobody else ever been through it. Nobody else wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
But as I got older, you realize a lot more people been through or have experienced a lot of the things that I have, but they just don't talk about it. And what I learned by going to Second Genesis is that you gotta, they strip you and then build you back up. And so many people have dealt with things on the same level that I have dealt with, the dysfunctional family and all that. But that's the type of stuff you suppress and use drugs to. And you can't get to that next level in life until you're willing to talk about it, till you be willing to become transparent. So I wanted to let the public know that, I'm transparent, that, I went through things, I overcame things, and, like how you like me now, you don't always have to stay there, because stop using drugs was so hard for me to stop. I almost thought I'd be a drug addict for life. I almost gave up on stop trying to quit. Just say, forget it. I'm just gonna use drugs. It was so hard. But then it wasn't until I became, acceptance of a lot of things I've been through, and didn't care about what the public thought or felt about me. I just had to do what I had to do for me and my recovery to stay stopped, and become a better person.
And also, you have 2 documentaries about your lives. What are the names? What's the name of them?
Well, Al Jahar, they did a little documentary on me that they sent to the Middle East and France. I have copies of it that I use for like a little promotional thing when I do speaking engagements throughout the city, school, churches, rec centers, wherever I'm asked to come speak. But Southern Bell is the bigger documentary company that's doing a documentary on me, and we've been going through this 2-3 years now. It's still in editing phases. She's still editing it, and I think that's going to be a bigger,
What's the name of that documentary?
Out of the Ring, Still in the Fight.
Basically, going to be another naked experience with you. Telling people, exactly about your story.
Right. And I guess, the Washington Post magazine was something that helped me get used to it, to get adjusted to it, so I could be, I know what to expect now, because it was almost like I was ashamed to come out of the house. Everybody know my business, the whole world, around the nation, and, but I felt like it was something that needed to be done, it had to be done.
Okay, well, like you said, a lot of people, have been going through, or you realize they experience similar stuff that you go through. So a lot of people, could very well be in your shoes. Do you have any advice to, the youth up and coming, whether, whatever their dream is and whatever they're chasing? Do you have any advice for them, based off of what you've been through?
Well, I know when you got a lot of things, dysfunctions that's going on in your life, it can affect you. And the founder of Second Genesis, he used to have this theory that that when you go through stuff as a child, most drug addicts are drug addicts because of the things they experienced and went through, the dysfunctions in their childhood. And I know for my case, that was true. So I couldn't even argue with that, because my lifestyle behind my closed doors in my house was like crazy, and so my advice to younger kids is to find somebody they can talk to, that they can trust, and try and get help for what they're going through, and to talk about it. so they don't have to keep that stuff buried inside them, especially as a kid, because a kid is not equipped to handle certain problems and certain situations as like adults can. And a lot of times we put all this pressure, and we think kids don't know, but really they know what's going on, and it's too much added pressure, and a lot of times they release that, whether it be violence, acting out, or drugs, or taking to the streets, hanging with people that accept them, and my advice, find somebody you could talk to that you could trust, get that stuff off you, and to choose your friends. Don't let your friends choose you, pick people you got something in common with that can help you get to the next level, and not try and pull you into their negativity. Because it's easy to do negative. Anybody can do negative. Anybody can go out there and use drugs, sell drugs. That stuff is easy, and that's what I had to find out. It's hard being a leader, and being a leader is much more gratifying, and being a leader takes much more heart. See, a lot of people think it takes heart to go out there and jump somebody, or to rob somebody, or to do something negative. That's easy. I mean, anybody can do that, but what hard is doing the right thing and leaving your whole crew behind when they going to do something negative, and you turn the other way and say, I ain't gonna do that. That's being a leader. That's having a heart. I'm going to do something positive. I'm going to follow my dream. And that's hard.
Hey, well, I appreciate the time. Tony Suggs, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm Luther, Skywalker Bailey, WBGR Sports Network. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
Peace.